There's been plenty of reaction to Meta's announcement that they're getting rid of professional fact-checkers for Facebook and Instagram in the US. Here's a reminder of what the company's boss, Mark Zuckerberg, had to say.
We're going to get rid of fact-checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote non-stop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact-checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system.
Now, Meta have told us those changes won't go ahead in the EU or UK, but as for the rest of the world, many are speculating they'll eventually be rolled out beyond the United States. Here at Tech Life, we wanted to look at the role performed by fact-checkers and community notes in social media. Florian Stoeckel is an associate professor at the University of Exeter in the UK, and he's carried out research in numerous European countries into both professional fact-checkers and the community note system. I asked him to describe how a community notes model works.
Usually, if we don't use a community note model, anyone can write a comment. And with a community note system, it's a bit more complicated. A bit more needs to happen in order for something to be flagged as incorrect. In this kind of a system, several people usually have to flag something as incorrect, and they have to provide an explanation for their assessment. And then these assessments are again rated by others. And then in the next step, an algorithm determines if and when a consensus has been reached on whether something should be flagged publicly as false information. So this system really leverages user engagement, and this has benefits, but it also has limitations. For instance, the people who do the fact-checking might not necessarily have expertise, and they might make mistakes and contribute to confusion rather than clarity.
Okay, so it is a few more steps than just someone writing a comment underneath saying a story is right or wrong. But that's kind of where your research took you. So, and what did you find in general? People do believe the community knows?
What we found is that when people flag something as incorrect with a comment, that can actually help other people. And we analyzed this in the UK, in Germany, in Italy, and the patterns we find are relatively similar. So I really think this is a process that works across countries. But we also found that there is a huge limitation or a huge problem, because every once in a while people also flag correct information as false. And this also has an effect because it can really confuse people.
I think you call it a double-edged sword, don't you?
Exactly, yeah, because there are these benefits. So I wish more people would get involved, because a lot of people are really good at detecting false information, but actually the people who are really good at it don't fact check a lot or don't post a lot of comments. And the people who are not particularly good at it are actually also very active, and this then really contributes to confusion and makes it hard for people to differentiate what is true and what is false on social media.
I mean, it sounds to me like you're saying that's one of the biggest downfalls of it compared to professional fact checkers who are currently employed by Meta to check posts.
Exactly, yeah. So I think it's really not an either or. So it's not that it's that we need either people to be involved and not fact checkers, or fact checkers and not people. I think you really need as many people to be involved, professional and non-professional as possible. And then if users get involved, even if they get involved for community notes system, they really benefit from fact checkers as well, because fact checkers, professional fact checkers, are people who really have expertise in assessing evidence, in figuring out the reliability of evidence of whatever information might be out there. And because they are trained journalists, they are trained researchers, and so community note systems benefit from having fact checkers, and not having fact checkers, professional fact checkers, is really a problem, I think.
Why is it important to look into the quality of information on social media?
social media platforms are really places where important political debates take place. And for democracies to work, these debates are really require accurate information rather than inaccurate or false information. And I just think if social media platforms shy away from professional fact checking, this is really something that should be concerning for all of us, right? So why are they shying away from this? Why not have both a community note system and fact checkers as we had in the past? And I think this could be a focus of the discussion in Europe, in the UK.
Are there certain types of people who prefer a professional fact checker model versus a community notes model? Are there demographic differences between the people who favor one over the other?
Oh, I don't have any exact data on that. What I do know from some research we did on who favors fact checking generally and who sees fact checkers more critically is that people who are more satisfied with democracy generally, who are more cosmopolitan or more open towards European integration, and sometimes also more left-leaning, that they see fact checkers generally more positively, and that people who are very unsatisfied with democracy tend to see fact checkers more critically. And this is, I think, the debate we now also see currently in the US, but also in Europe.
That's Professor Florian Stoeckel from the University of Exeter in the UK.